Good morning, everyone. It's a gorgeous Monday here, and I had to come outside do this after already. I think people just get tired, right, of talking to me. Or she could go on and on and on and on. Now, if I converse with someone in Korea, there's an 11-hour time difference, right? So they're ready to go to bed. I'm ready to get going. So, of course. Uh, so I had another wonderful talk this morning. Love, love, love it. So, I'm in what is this one now? King James Bible. And the second book of Chronicles and the other one that I started out with one, didn't have the overhead, but I think it's kind of important or interesting, so I'm going to read it. Added this one before we go to the second book of Chronicles 2. So this is the overhead to the second book of the Chronicles. The book of second Chronicles parallels first and second Kings, but virtually ignores the northern kingdom of Israel because of its false worship and refusal to acknowledge the temple in Jerusalem. Really? I guess we read about that before. Chronicles focuses on those kings who pattern their lives and reigns after the reign of godly King David. It gives extended treatment to such zealous reformers as Asa, Jehoshaphat, Joash, Hezekiah, and Josiah. The temple and temple worship, central throughout the book, befit a nation whose worship of God is central to its very survival. The book begins with Solomon's glorious temple and concludes with Cyrus's edict to rebuild the temple more than 400 years later. All right. So we're in 2. It almost sounds the same as I think, said in the Solomon prepares to build the temple. So he prepares again. I thought his dad already prepared all that. Well, he has to make some preparations as well. Got it? Then Solomon determined to build a temple for the name of the Lord and a royal house for himself. Kind of sounds the same as he determined to build a temple for the name of the Lord and a royal house for himself. Didn't David already determine that's what Solomon would be doing and got it all ready? Now, Solomon has to determine, okay, how old was Solomon when all this happened? And when David passed away and all that? Okay, just saying. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. Solomon selected 70,000 men to bear burdens, 80,000 to quarry stone in the mountains, and 3,600 to oversee them. Ugh, what work that must have been. Then Solomon sent to Hiram, king of Tyre, saying, As you have dealt with David my father, and sent him cedars to build himself a house to dwell in, so deal with me. Behold, I am building a temple for the name of the Lord my God, to dedicate it to him, to burn before him sweet incense for the continual showbread, for the burnt offerings morning and evening, on the Sabbaths, on the new moons, and on the set feasts of the Lord our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. Didn't David already get all that? Now it sounds as if Solomon's the one doing it all. And Solomon even says, "You gave my father all this stuff for his palace. Now I want you to make the same deals with me, but I want to build a temple." Yeah. Is it just how people wrote it differently down in different Bibles? Well, it's just interesting. That's why you wanted me to read out all of. Okay, gotcha. Not that difficult to figure this out. And the temple which I build will be great, for our God is greater than all gods. You're going to go and tell that to who? Okay. But who is able to build him a temple, since heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain him? Who am I then, that I should build him a temple, except to burn sacrifice before him? I'm getting two messages here. Is Solomon conflicted about building that temple? Why? Who am I then, that he can't be content, build until, since heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain him? Who? What? What's he actually saying here? Ah. I'm not going to deny Solomon his wisdom, but did he act upon the wisdom that he was given? Therefore send me at once a man skillful to work in gold and silver and bronze and iron. What, he didn't have that by now? There already? In purple and crimson and blue, who has skill to engrave with the skillful men who are with me in Judah and Jerusalem, whom David my father provided. Also send me cedar and cypress and algum logs from Lebanon, for I know that your servants have skill to cut timber in Lebanon. And indeed my servants will be with your servants, to prepare timber for me in abundance, for the temple which I am about to build shall be great and wonderful. And indeed I will give to your servants the woodsmen who cut timber 20,000 cores of ground wheat, 20,000 cores of barley, 20,000 baths of wine, and 20,000 baths of oil. Then Hiram the king of Tyre answered in writing, which he sent to Solomon, because the Lord loves his people, he has made you king over them. Hiram is king too. Hiram also said, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, who made heaven and earth, for he has given King David a wise son, endowed with prudence and understanding, who will build a temple for the Lord and a royal house for himself. Well, yeah, he needed a big one. I can't help it. Hey, and now I have sent a skillful man endowed with understanding, Hiram, my master craftsman, the son of a woman of the daughters of Dan, and his father was a man of Tyre. What? This is Hiram talking. Ah, interesting. The son of a woman of the daughters of Dan, and his father was a man of Tyre. Okay. Skilled to work in gold and silver, bronze and iron, stone and wood, purple and blue, fine linen and crimson, to make any engraving and to accomplish any plan which may be given to him, with your skillful men and with the skillful men of my lord David your father. Now therefore the wheat, the barley, the oil, and the wine, which my lord has spoken of, let him send to his servants, and we will cut wood from Lebanon as much as you need. We will bring it to you in rafts by the sea to Joppa, and you will carry it up to Jerusalem. Then Solomon numbered all the aliens who were in the land of Israel, slaves, after the census in which David his father had numbered them, and there were found to be 153,600. And he made 70,000 of them bearers of burdens, 80,000 stone cutters in the mountain, and 3,600 overseers to make the people work. I wonder how many died. doing all this. You see, did you get the last part too? And 3,600 overseers to make the people work. All right. For what exactly? There's so little to say anymore. I feel like I've said it all. I say that every time, then I get into I think the number one thing in any of it is to, again, doing this for what? It's the reputation of God. Make sure that, what are we actually reading? What am I learning from this? What am I learning from this? Or am I being pulled into something that, well, but it's for God, this and that, so, I guess I'll have to go with the greater minds in it all. I can't do that. I just can't. I am my own person. I got my own heart to mind. And I know that God would never approve of anyone taking slaves than having overseers to make them work, which we all know what that entails, okay? And that a lot of people, no doubt, of these people that were forced to work, slaves, were not kept in good condition, did not have the sleeping quarters that they need. How many people are we talking about? Did anybody say anything? Okay, we need the first thing we need to do if we are going to do this, okay, is have the proper little village set up for these workers. And compensation. And how much blood do you think was on that temple? I don't even care about the palaces, That's not my problem, not my business. I know when we built this house, there wasn't one person that got hurt. I mean, except for, some scrapes but broken bones, falling off the roof, or this or that, nothing, absolutely nothing. That's a big house. Well, anyway, and we built it ourselves with friends and family. Yes, we did. Nobody was used or abused. Done. I don't even want to know. But the temple, you really think you can build up something for God that you want Him to dwell in that kind of manner? Really? As I said, don't know whose God you're talking about, but it ain't mine. Well, anyway, so there we go. Oh. So reading the Bible, what are we learning from? And what do we teach at this time? What do we teach the people? Yes? Huh? No wonder. Somebody that doesn't know about God, didn't grow up with any kind of belief, hasn't gone to church, and comes across this and reads this, okay, and has a proper heart to mind. Just because you don't grow up with knowing God doesn't mean that your original mind isn't functioning properly, that the person doesn't have a conscience. I'd say, I find sometimes people who haven't grown up with any of it, no doctrine, have a better sense of what is right and wrong. Yeah. I know, it doesn't sound pretty, does it? Yes? Doesn't sound like, well, what's Daniela doing this time? I am myself, in many ways, flabbergasted that at the time that I live in, and I'm reading through the Bible in the way that I'm doing it, so concentrated, so, okay. What, no one else has come across this before? And it's actually being taught out there? Wait a minute. Do we really think that Solomon went the right way, and David, by building that temple? What are we actually learning from this? And what should we not be doing? Yes? And Israel should not have done either. And what happened? Which part? How to solve some things? Which part went wrong? Why did that happen? And why did the people suddenly suffer? Not do so well. Okay, who isn't doing well in this country? That most of it isn't of your own doing, your own choices. Not talking children. Then one has to say, yeah, if you understand on how life works, cycle of life, this and that, then yeah, some sorrow goes with all that. Yes, yeah, especially when you love. I said that before. Anyway, that's all I have to share. I have to make it through another book of the Chronicles. Yes, we can do this. Felt like this is penance. Easter's coming up. Aha, I'm feeling it, aren't I? Easter's coming up as well. And just before, I'm going to bring that up after, just before Easter, I come across this little clip of two children, and you can tell the cause of the suffering of these children is war. The effect on the children is horrific. And there are media outlets out there, there are people out there that don't want you to see that. It's not, there's nothing graphic about it, about that little clip. There's nothing violent about it either. Not in a sense on what we perceive as graphic and violent. The effect of what these, of the cause, on how these children are affected by it, what they went through in a war zone, should open anyone's eyes on how it doesn't matter who holds the weapons of destruction and I don't know what. Don't matter what side you are on. When you see these children, the shape that they are in, emotionally, not physically, they have just a few scrapes and bruises. If you cannot feel ashamed for what's going on out there still like that, if you cannot see Jesus in those two children and what he went through before they put him on the cross, I can't help you. I can't. Until everyone out there sees what I see in that little clip. And I would never go and hide it away. Anyway, so there it is. Awful. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you all another time.